Last week we had a fallout after Christian Hackenberg fumbled the game away, and actually a lot of you stood up for Christian Hackenberg. You all supported him kind of to the level where you were more against me, and it kind of hurt my feelings. Not really, but everyone was for Christian Hackenberg, and you know, I was caught in the moment obviously when I was saying that stuff, and for me right there, right then, I blamed him. But as you pointed out, there were other times in the game where we could have won. Connor Bath is a problem at kicker for us. Once again, technically everything is my fault. Yes, it's Madden, I'm playing the game. So I looked around the league. Quarterbacks do have low 60s, mid 60s carrying. Hackenberg is below 60. A great point somebody made is let's just try and upgrade his carrying when we get the chance. Obviously, the good thing about this version of franchise mode is we get so many chances to gain extra XP in training and things for our players. If we focus that on Christian Hackenberg, we can upgrade that carrying, and this should no longer be a problem. Like I said, one of the problems is, yes, I'm holding on to the ball too long, and obviously if I were always to throw it away quickly, he wouldn't even get hit to lose the ball. But fact is, our best wide receivers are 71 overalls. It takes them a while to get open. Our line's not great either. It is a mix of the entire thing. I'm not trying to take the blame here of maybe needing Christian Hackenberg to get rid of the ball a bit quicker, but also you got to consider the fact that look at this line. Finally we've got C's across the middle. Everything else are D's and things. We're not going to just be able to suddenly go, oh, there we go, ball's gone. He's not going to have a 2-3 second release time because nobody's there to throw to that quickly. And you guys were right to stick up for Hackenberg. He has played well. All of his stats outside of fumbling are very good. He doesn't even throw that many interceptions. Every now and then he will absolutely launch a ball completely away from the receiver, but that's bound to happen. He's only a 69 overall. He is a rookie. But you guys were right to stick up for him. I here am the coach. It's up to me to create an environment for Christian Hackenberg to thrive. You can't expect a guy to come straight out of college, step into your system and succeed. We've got to help him along the way. So yes, Christian Hackenberg will continue to be the quarterback. We will now make changes. The first changes I'll make is starting to concentrate on Christian Hackenberg's carrying, and hopefully that will fix the problem. One obstacle we do have here is the fact that Christian Hackenberg has slow development, which I think is pretty unfair to give him slow development. Kevin Pierre-Lewis has normal development. Keith Marshall has normal development. I don't know why Madden's kind of hating on Christian Hackenberg, giving him slow development, but he's now a focused player. He'll gain extra XP like that. We'll do stuff that get him more XP, and we'll spend all of that XP on his carrying. We want his carrying to be somewhere around 65 or something. Then we don't need to spend the XP on that stat anymore, but until it is around 65, which puts him on par with all the best quarterbacks in the league because their carrying's not that high, we then will stop, and then we can see where we are with that. So this is the first play of the game by the Broncos, and they run it. CJ Anderson, and he gashes us for 20 yards. That's not what we want to see with the first rush of the game, but they get a big gain on us against the run. And then we come here with the sack, the forced fumble sack. Ball's out, and look at this hit. D. Milliner lays out an offensive lineman. There's probably a difference of more than 100 pounds there. And then Kyle Fackrell lays out Paxton Lynch. You don't see sacks like that too regularly, but he just hit sticks the guy. And then Keith Marshall, this is our first play of the game, 18 yards, so not as many as CJ Anderson, but the Denver Broncos only managed to get 3 points, and we're coming down now here. And that ball's a little out in front of Tajae Sharp, but it's good enough, and Tajae Sharp walks into the end zone there. But unfortunately, as per usual, although it was a good touchdown, it's only 6 points. We missed the extra point. And the Broncos 3rd and 2 in our red zone, and Trey Flowers lays out Ronnie Hillman there, -2 yards on the rush, and they get another field goal, so it's all square now. And then this one, I don't know where this was going in all honesty anymore. It could have been Thomas below the defensive backs, but even if it was Mobo ahead of them, that ball wasn't near any of our receivers, but it's not a problem. Mistakes like that happen. Mistakes like this shouldn't happen. That's just Demaryius Thomas manhandling our cornerback. Goes up over him, comes down and manages to walk into the end zone. Our cornerback's just not big enough to handle it. And we give Hackenberg an easy throw here, an easy completion on a screen. And then DJ Foster just breaks it big time. Follows his blocks. No linebacker in the world is going to catch him now. Cornerback comes close, almost goes out of bounds, but he gets into the end zone. A huge touchdown there from DJ Foster. That's all he does. Big gains from small passes. And then we're ahead. We went for 2 and failed there. And then this is just pure bad luck. Hackenberg gets hit as he releases the ball. It drops short, and TJ Watt just happened to be where it dropped short. So we go screen again. This one was a weird one. Somehow it worked out. Somehow DJ Foster manages to find more than one hole, and he gets shoved out of bounds. He turned a gain of what should have been a -5 or so, turns it into a big gain again. And here we are, red zone, 3rd and 3. We've got to get this one. Rico gathers there, 6'8", however many 100 pounds, the biggest tight end in the game. And we get the ball to him, he catches it, and a touchdown from him. This play could have been a big loss, but instead, Paxton Lynch manages to throw it there. That's just a bad missed tackle. That's an even worse missed tackle. It's up to the safeties now. They kind of have to double team here to get him out of bounds. We do get him out of bounds, but not until he gets down to the 3-yard line. And it was an easy run-in for them from that point onwards. They're now up 27-18. That's Mobo there, getting us the first down when we needed it the most. It was a matter of inches, but he got us for us, and then we have to go for the field goal here. And that's Connor Bath actually getting 3 points for us. No missed field goal on one that distance. We get the points, and then here, Anderson just able to walk into the end zone. We get to him too late. They go for 2 points. We managed to stop them there, though, on pretty much the same play. It's now a 2-score game with 4 minutes left. It's not impossible. If we get good field position, it's going to be very possible. Instead, Kenny Bell breaks it big time. There was a huge hole in the middle of the field. He just went straight through it. Nobody's catching Kenny Bell once he gets going. Gets into the end zone for a 101-yard touchdown return. If we manage to stop them, 3 and out them, or get the ball off them without them scoring any more points, we've got a great chance. And here the field goal falls short. So we get the ball back. Just 1 score in it, and this is the final play of the game. Mobo gets inside on the cornerback, but it's thrown behind his shoulder there. Game over. For some reason, I just feel compelled to dissect this play. The problem is here, look, as he throws, that giant gap between the middle linebacker there in the middle and Roby covering Mobo. It's huge. All you have to do is lead your receiver into that giant area in the end zone, because what Coleman's actually done is cleared out those guys. That's the deep safety there. So the deep safety's being pulled away by Coleman. His guy on him's being pulled away by Coleman. I think this is a cover one with that middle linebacker dropping back as well. So everybody's in coverage apart from those 2 playing zone, and Coleman has just pulled both of them out. That's why he's triple covered there. That means all you have to do is throw, and look where the ball is going. There you can see Mobo's having to turn around. He's stopped. It's thrown behind him. It's not a case of messing up the throw to where you just put it on the person. You should have led him in front. This is a missed throw completely because it's going behind the receiver. It puts Roby in perfect position there to take that. If the ball had been led out in front, it would go in. Those missed extra points didn't make a difference to the score. This was it. This was the game-winning touchdown. Would have been here. It gets thrown behind the receiver. He didn't play badly. The annoying thing in this game was, I think what really held us back is, look, superhuman form by Paxton Lynch. Not saying that's unrealistic considering who we have playing cornerback. That was an issue. That's really an issue, and I'm excited to get into this once we get into the main menu and stuff. That was a big issue that came up today. Playing this team showed us where our fatal flaw is, because our defense isn't that bad. We're actually ranked quite highly in the league in yards allowed and things like that. We're not that bad. Today, a huge flaw was exposed. So Christian Hackenberg didn't do badly. He didn't do badly. 63 completion percentage. Yeah, the interceptions, they were just stupid, to be honest. A lot were early. We made up for it as well. That's the annoying thing. A 73-yard pass. That's pretty cool. Keith Marshall, again, nothing. This is, I'm sure there's a statistic for us, just like there is a statistics for most teams in the NFL. When your feature running back gets less than so-and-so many attempts or less than so-and-so many yards, you lose the game. As soon as Keith Marshall has like 11 attempts or something like less than 50 yards, we tend to be losing, and that's because obviously we have to give up on the run. But I think I give up on it earlier than we need to give up on it. Start launching it about. Half the plays, I'm sure, I don't know when they happened, but I'm pretty sure half the interceptions were probably on downs where we could be running it, and I'm just throwing it around like a madman. Receiving wise, a huge day for Michael Thomas with 8 receptions, and that was because of the 2 guys covering our number 1 and 2 receivers. 8 receptions is 110 yards. I think I want to start using Rico Gathers more. It'd be fun to get him in some mismatches with like cornerbacks, especially if we get him up against like the slot corner. The safeties were busy today. The cornerbacks just were absolutely humiliated. Tackles for losses, we did alright, a few there. Sacks, actually the sacks should be 3 agree. However, Madden doesn't seem to count strip sacks as a sack. Dion Jordan actually forced a fumble. I think it was Dion Jordan forced a fumble on Paxton Lynch and then got a sack later on as well. So that should be 2, but it's only 1. Kyler Fackrell had a big hit on Paxton Lynch, and the actual strip sack wasn't even counted as a forced fumble. So unless the timing of that play was by the time Dion Jordan turned up, Paxton Lynch happened to drop it just as he was about to touch him, I think Madden messed up on recognizing a stat there. Sometimes you see that the acknowledgement for a play is just sometimes dropped, okay, disappears into the nether regions. And what about this? When we needed it the most, Kenny Bell, he'd been averaging the same as Pharaoh Cooper pretty much all day, 26, 27 yards a return, and then just breaks one for 101 yards, obviously for the touchdown. It put us back 33-27. We could have scored that touchdown and probably won the game, but that's not always how it goes. Losing to the Denver Broncos wasn't that much of a surprise, so there's plenty of things I'd like to upgrade for Christian Hackenberg, but we only have one thing we are upgrading for now, and we managed to get it up by 2, so it won't be long until we can start upgrading the normal things again. So Christian Hackenberg, we just gave him 2 attribute points in carrying, and he loses 2 attribute points in awareness because he threw 4 interceptions. Jameson Nickerson. It might be an odd name, but this is the kind of guy we're after. I'm actually going to add him to the watch list. What is different between him and these other guys and our cornerbacks? It's the height. 6'4", or rather the size, 6'4", 214 pounds. Our cornerbacks were getting run over by Demaryius Thomas in that last game, and that's not blaming the cornerbacks, I'm just saying we have smaller cornerbacks, and it's made me realize I want big cornerbacks. That's what I want to be the staple of our defense, or the building block of our secondary is big bodies. Obviously, that's coming pretty much straight out of the Seattle Seahawks school of thought. They're not the only team to utilize big players, but that's what I want, some big corners that won't be just absolutely run over or caught over the top of themselves by receivers from the other team. That was pretty embarrassing to see. The safeties had to clean up a lot for those cornerbacks, just being absolutely humiliated by the receivers. And now I'm not going to not scout these smaller corners. A 6'1", 192 isn't that small. Well, it kind of is actually. 192 is really not a lot at all. I guess that's why he's a 7th round projected pick. That's really weird. So I'm not going to not scout them because, you know, if Brent Grimes turns up, I'm not going to turn him down because he's a bit small. Not a lot of good cornerbacks in this draft actually at all, which is a bit worrying because obviously other teams also are aware of the kind of stock that there is. And I really like this guy. I really like one of the middle linebackers. There's some other players I also kind of like. But 6'4", 214 pounds, that really interests me. 6'4", a 6'4" corner, if he's got good speed, that'll be something to look out for. Check out his combine results when it comes round to that time. If he's an athlete, I'll probably take him over anybody. So this week we are visiting the Panthers. For some reason we tend to do better away from home than we do at home. So we're looking for wins in every game now. I'm not intimidated anymore by the bigger teams. I'm confident in this team. Of course, we had some mistakes, but we're gonna get over those. And this week, I'm only going to put Christian Hackenberg in a position to succeed. We're going to play run first, West Coast offense, and this time not because we're trying to stop him from fumbling, but because we're going to give him routes that are quick to throw, because that was the problem last week as well. You can't have him both ways. You either throw it quickly and you've got a higher risk with interceptions with guys that are 69 rated, or you take your time, give him time, and that's when you get hit more often. So right now we're not really in a position to be choosing one or the other, but a West Coast style offense, quick, short, intermediate passes, gives us a chance to get Christian Hackenberg just releasing the ball. We're going to trial that this week against the Panthers, see how that goes, and maybe we'll stick with it. So this is the third play of their first drive. Cam Newton has all day to look for it. 3rd and 14. We knew they were going to pass. Finally, he throws it. Rashaan Melvin steals the ball there. He had underneath coverage. I think this was a cover 2. Rashaan Melvin was in the flat, never left his flat even though there was nobody around, and he manages to get that underneath steal from Kelvin Benjamin coming back to the ball. What a great start for our team here. Keith Marshall now, he didn't have too much luck before, but gets the look here, goes in 34 yards for the touchdown. We're up 7-0 to start the game, and we get the ball off them again without them scoring, so we get an offensive possession again, 7-0, and Keith Marshall breaks it to the outside there, gets a big gain. If he gets to the outside, he's gonna get a good number of, this is a 2 2009 Chris Johnson type player. He's not going to get 2,000 yards, but he's got killer speed on the outside, and there's nothing happening there. And Hackenberg gets sacked, and then he fumbles the ball as well, but not really. The ruling was overturned, but of course it was still a sack, and now we have to go for a 50-yard field goal with Connor Bath, and he bangs it straight through the uprights. What a good kick from Bath. Today, everything's going in our favor. Another field goal here from Bath. And again, we get another 3 points. We're up 13-0 at this point. Another offensive possession. They have scored 7 points now, but we're about to score 7 points. Tajay Sharp beating his man to the outside and could just dance into the end zone there. 20-7 the score. We're currently dominating them in every phase of the game. Here, 3rd and 13 again, and Dion Jordan on another sack on Cam Newton. We've got to him already today. He gets to him again there, and that keeps them down to 7 points. And our next offensive play here, we go for a screen. It's always worked for us. This time it doesn't actually work for us. That was 3rd and 6. We get stopped on 4th and 1, so we do have to punt it away. And then they get another chance here. Greg Olsen down the middle. Nate Ebner forces the fumble, but Olsen of all people manages to get the ball back. They keep possession. Cam Newton there working on the outside. Greg Olsen making up for that fumble. And that was actually Nate Ebner that kind of just fell on the floor next to him and failed to make the tackle. 39-yard touchdown. But Connor Bath here with a 41-yard field goal bangs that one through the uprights as well. He's having an incredible day, even though he already has missed an extra point. So we're up 29-16, but Kelvin Benjamin here rips the ball away from our cornerback. A terrible missed tackle by Akeem Davis, and he walks into the end zone. Again, just like last week, these big receivers show up our smaller cornerbacks, but we just have to recover this onside kick to win the game, and that is exactly what we do. They have no timeouts. It's a win. I don't know how we do it. How do we win away from home so much more convincingly than we do at home? Obviously, this one got a little bit messy towards the end. Same thing as last week. Those cornerbacks aren't that big. I tried to adjust for it a little bit this week. Didn't really work. Obviously, that last touchdown, a flop of a tackle from our safety, which didn't help, but still we won. We were pretty much comfortably in control of the entire game. You look at the scores by quarter, ahead the entire time. We were never worried about going behind, and this is why I promised a clean game plan for Christian Hackenberg, did I not? 12 attempts, that's all he had, just 12 passes, and he completed every single one of them. 100% completion percentage, 250 yards, 2 touchdowns as well, no interceptions, no nothing. He completed all his passes. A 70-yarder that went for a touchdown. There was actually a play where he got sacked and fumbled the ball, but then there was a booth review. He didn't actually fumble the ball. To be fair, never looked like he did, in all honesty. And that's the closest we got to a mistake from Hackenberg. I feel like maybe I was putting too much on the shoulders of a rookie quarterback that's not got that high a rating. Changed that up this week. 12 passes, all completions, 2 touchdowns, 250 yards. Rushing wise, Keith Marshall absolutely killing it. 5.8 yard average. 135 yards on the day, 1 touchdown, and the team's leading receiver, DJ Foster, 4 receptions, 122 yards, 1 touchdown. Tajay Sharp as well, a big catch, 62 yards, 1 reception, 1 touchdown. And then Michael Thomas had a bit of an input as well as Brandon Coleman, but they weren't needed that much. Defensively, middle linebacker Scooby Wright today had a good day, which is usually the safeties or Kevin Pierre-Lewis are leading the team in tackles. This time it was Scooby Wright. Few tackles for losses as well, dished out between the players. 1 sack for Devin Still, 1 sack for Dion Jordan, and an interception for Rashaan Melvin. I think his interception really put us in a position of control from the beginning of the game. It really helped out on that first drive, getting an interception. From that point onwards, we were just coasting all the way to the win. And what about this performance? 3 field goals attempted, 3 field goals made, along a 50, he banged in a 50-yard field goal, then something like a 43-yard field goal, and still missed an extra point. That is Connor Bath. That is why we haven't re-signed him, but he did a good job for us today. So back to upgrading Christian Hackenberg. We are only trying to get him to, I think I said about 65 carrying, which makes him better than some of the good quarterbacks in the league. 63 carrying. We'll do 1 more week of upgrading carrying, and then we can work on awareness, which is quite low as well. Apparently just eating Snickers will do that for him, so I don't know why we're spending XP on it. And then we'll do medium accuracy, I think. Short accuracy will just get up to 80 and have it there. That'll be nice. And then we'll do some medium accuracy. But you know, he's not got bad stats whatsoever all round. So just get that carrying up a little bit, get that awareness up, and then we can start just making him a very good quarterback. I say a very good quarterback, a much better quarterback. But I don't know how we did it. Color Rush, Thursday Night Football. Real nice Color Rush uniforms actually for us. I like that white and gold. When we beat the Panthers away 29-23 on a perfect day by Christian Hackenberg. So I'm going to continue scouting cornerbacks. I'm not putting the blame on the cornerbacks. That's not why I'm now looking for cornerbacks. But I thought at first I was happy with them because they're all quite good overalls and you can upgrade them quite well probably. But the problem is they're just not that good physically, I don't think. I don't like their size. I'd like some bigger guys. And apparently I'm not going to find any here. This is crazy. So that is of course it for this week. Come back next week where we play the Rams at home. And now we've not been great at home, but this is gotta be a game that we win. They are 3-7. They are worse than us. We can't lose this game at home. We won against the Panthers away. It was great. It was Color Rush. It looked great. We actually looked great as a team. We can't lose this next game. We also have a player negotiation coming up, which isn't that exciting. That's our left tackle.